Number 10, we have a probability question here. We'll talk about some of the probability rules as we do this and pick some keywords out when we have our probability questions. So let me go ahead and get us a marker here. We'll look at some things. Tim tosses 3 nickels on the ground. What is the probability that all 3 will show heads? In the question part of this, what is the probability that all 3? Now this is the key right here. We don't want just one of the 3. We want all 3 of the nickels to have heads when they land on the ground. So we have 3 nickels here, and they like to sometimes write the numbers out in word form instead of in numeric form. And if you read that wrong, you would read Tim tosses the nickels on the ground. What is the probability? If you miss that, then you might just put half, because the probability is 1 out of 2 that he will get a heads on a fair coin. But we want all 3 to show heads. So let's list out the probabilities of each one of them having heads, and then we'll see how we deal with that. So when we toss, we'll have coin 1, coin 2, and coin 3. When we toss coin 1 of having heads is 1 out of 2 on a fair coin. It's got a heads or a tails. And then for the second one, that doesn't change. Just pretend you're picking in a 1 at a time out of your pocket and throwing it on the ground. Nothing matters about the second one, what happened in the first one. Nothing matters in the third one about what happened in the first, second, third coin. So these are our coins up here. So we have a 1 out of 2 probability for coin 1, coin 2, and coin 3. Those probabilities don't change. Now our question becomes, what do we do with these probabilities? These fractions, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, 1 over 2. So we want all 3. So what needs to happen is you need to pull one out, and if you'll think about it, you're going to pull one out, throw it on the ground, 1 out of 2, and you want the second one to be heads, and you want the third one to be heads. So you want this one, and this one, and the third one to all be heads. When we have and, we're going to multiply. And so when we multiply fractions, if you remember, we multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So 1 times 1 times 1 is going to be 1, and 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. So 1 out of 8 would be our choice. 1 out of 2, of course, is a distractor to make you think of just throwing one of them on the ground. 1 out of 2, so it's got to be 1 out of 2. 3 out of 8 would be if you added these and you added them incorrectly. You added 1 plus 1 plus 1 and added 2 plus 2 plus 2 on the bottom. Or if you multiplied incorrectly, 2 times, not added, but 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is all 8. So remember, when you multiply across the bottom of the fraction, you would have added across the top, right? And you would have got 1, 2, 3 on that, and then you would have got 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So that was kind of confusing. Of course, I confused myself about 14 times trying to explain that one. And then 8 out of 27. I guess there's some crazy way I could sit around here long enough and try to figure out how they came up with that. Maybe you can figure it out. But anyway, going back to the question itself, we want all 3. So we need 1 and 2 and 3 to all have heads. When we do that, we multiply. We multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. I'm sure that's about as clear as mud now.